Hi, everybody!
Leave me alone! Ah!
In the face of overwhelming odds, I'm left with only one option. I'm gonna have to science the shit out of this.
In all honesty, I had a very poor first impression of Guilty Gear Strive, and I just didn't get the appeal. However, it has grown on me in recent times, and I now really enjoy it. Just like I didn't initially understand the appeal of Final Fantasy games after my poor experiences with 10-2 and 13, which I covered in a previous video, so check that one out when you're done with this one. But enough bullshit blazing, let's get into the smell of the game. Okay, cheeky references to the main song for this game aside, one of the reasons I struggled to enjoy Guilty Gear Strive, at least in the initial stages, was because I just couldn't find a character that jived with me. Sure, I had characters I thought looked super cool, and I wanted to learn them, but they just weren't clicking at the time. So I dropped the game rather quickly, couple that with my friend who I had hoped was going to be my training partner in Strive not enjoying it either, and I saw little reason to invest. However, as I slowly met more and more people from the Guilty Gear community, I would periodically go back to the game and try it out. While I still had only the base roster, the game's core mechanics started to click a little bit for me, so I enjoyed it a bit more, but I still couldn't find a character I gelled with. So why did I try it again in 2025? It's mostly thanks to my friend Queenie Murata over on Twitch gifting me the season passes, and having the roster expand from a scant 15 to an acceptable 32 after Season 4. I now have a handful of characters I actually enjoy fooling around with from time to time. That isn't the only reason I now enjoy Guilty Gear Strive though. I know some numpty in the comments is going to tell me to get good, suck it up, and all the other stuff that internet trolls love to toss out there. But Captain Curmudgeon is going to pass it off to Captain Charisma to tell those numpties something.
Go fuck yourself.
But seriously though, fighting games can be fun even when you're getting your shit kicked in by a better player. However, there comes a time when that just gets frustrating and you want to see the backside of that game while pissing on its corpse. That was kind of an issue for me when I first got into Strive. The players I know who liked the game were pretty good at it, as they'd no-lifed it. During my college days, I could no-life a game and get good at it. But at this point in my gaming life, I don't want to no-life one game just to get competent. I've accepted that I'm a mostly mediocre player who's never going to be a top-tier competitor, nor do I want to achieve that goal. At this point, I'm playing fighting games to have fun with friends, and have fun with my community members when I stream on Twitch. If I happen to end up getting really good at a fighting game like I did with Dead or Alive 5, then I'm totally happy with that. If it doesn't happen, no real loss. For Guilty Gear Strive, the people I knew playing it were on both ends of the extreme. Some really good players who'd kick my shit in without even trying, or they'd be the neophytes to fighters and I'd kick their shit in without trying and they'd get frustrated. That wasn't exactly a great breeding ground to find a love for the game, so again, I shelved it until I got the DLC. Now that I have it and like a few characters, I can more easily find players who sit in the mushy middle ground and we can actually enjoy ourselves, as the matches are competitive and very swingy. My third reason as to why I eventually fell in love with Guilty Gear Strive comes down to my finally understanding the quirks found within the Arc System Works family of fighting games. You'd think this wouldn't really matter, since one fighting game plays like another, right? Not exactly. Every fighting game is going to have its own unique feel, even if they're from the same developers. For example, the Injustice games play nothing like the Mortal Kombat titles, despite both being developed by NetherRealm Studios. However, they still have a similar feeling, because they have a very stiff feel to them, which is partially why I could never get on with Mortal Kombat or Injustice, despite wanting to because friends loved those games. I kind of had a similar issue with Guilty Gear Strive, because I found the game felt too rigid and slow-paced. A slow-paced fighting game is usually not my cup of tea. There is one exception to that rule though. Any Samurai Showdown title from SNK. The more methodical gameplay feels correct and intentional there. It didn't feel right with Guilty Gear Strive though. Since then, I've played a few more of their games, and while they certainly felt smoother than Strive did during Season 1, they also felt slightly stiff as well. I'm referring to BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle, Persona 4 Arena Ultimax, and BlazBlue Central Fiction. Of the three, Central Fiction feels the best to me, and I absolutely adore that game. But experiencing other titles from Arc System Works finally got me to appreciate what makes Strive so good in the first place, along with the rest of their products. Relatively speaking, what Arc System Works is all about, they make games that are easy to pick up and play, but very hard to master, which creates a very addicting loop. Also, since I got into the beta for Marvel Tokon, I was able to experience that, which is an upcoming Arc System Works fighting game, and I can tell you, while simple to pick up, it's going to be a high execution game once people get under the hood and experience the full roster. At this point, we really don't know anything about Strive 2.0. All we do know is we can expect it sometime next year. There's no word on if it'll be just a straight up patch that will significantly rework the game's mechanics or something else. Many fighting game community members have speculated this means a brand new release of the game, meaning existing players would need to buy the game all over again. If I'm being honest, I don't see that happening, as it would just alienate 3.5 million players that already exist. Plus, it's highly unlikely a brand new release of the game would attract too many newcomers, since they'd have already bought into the game by this point if they were going to, especially with how frequently it goes on sale for accessible prices. But why am I bringing up Strive 2.0 in a list video discussing why I'm happy I gave it another chance in 2025? Simply put, it's down to the potential things they could do in 2.0. While I do like the state the game is currently in, there are always little things they could change and ideas they could incorporate to make it more feature-rich. But are you excited for Guilty Gear Strive 2.0? Let me know in the comments, along with any games you're glad you've given a second chance to this year. Also, since you watched until the very end, check out one of the videos on screen now, and until next time, keep blazing that trail.